Russell Martin was drafted by the Dodgers in the 17th round of the 2002 amateur draft, and he spent the first 5 seasons of his big league career in a Dodgers uniform. An overall 4-time All-Star, he had 2 All-Star games as well as a Gold Glove and a Silver Slugger as a Dodger, and told me earlier today what it was like when he heard he was returning to where it all began.
I mean, there was mixed feelings there. I've been home for 4 years, but now I'm going back to a place that also felt like home, about 8-9 years ago or something like that. So I was definitely happy just knowing that I'm going to a team that, is trying to compete for a championship. They've been in the World Series back-to-back years. So for where I am in my career, this is exactly, what I wanted. So I got lucky.
4-time All-Star in your career so far, 2 times with this organization. 2007, such a special year for you with the All-Star campaign, the Silver Slugger, Gold Glove. What do you remember about that year specifically?
Well, I remember that we didn't make it to the playoffs. There were good memories, but team-wise, it wasn't a good year. The most memorable years for me are the years where the team played well and we made it to the postseason. So those are the years that I definitely remember with. I don't know, I reflect on them and I feel better about those and the one where I had a good statistical year.
A lot of the guys in this room, all they know is winning because they've won this division 6 straight seasons. Chance to be 7-time NL West champions. What does that mean to you to be back in a clubhouse that is full of contenders and an expectation that you will play through October?
It's unbelievable. Most of my career, I'm used to making the playoffs, but I've never been to the World Series. So just walking into a clubhouse where you can just sense that the confidence is high and, the expectation is to at least, make it to the World Series. And they're just trying to get over that hump, to actually win a title. So my goal is really just to help the team, whatever that means. I'm not going to be selfish about playing time or any of that stuff. I just want to help the team, and it's just nice and refreshing to be back into this type of environment.
2 right-handed catchers, so you and Austin Barnes as far as the right-handed side tandem. What do you want to learn from him, and what do you think you can teach him?
Well, he's caught these guys, for a while now, so he knows a lot more about these pitchers than I do. So I'm just going to, keep my ears open and listen to what he has to say. He's a really smart kid, and pitchers love throwing to him. So I feel like we're going to work really well together and hopefully help these pitchers out. And for me, I don't know. I don't know what I have to teach, but hopefully I can help them along the way, just through the ups and downs of the season.
Do you consider yourself a mentor now? Is that just something, the role that kind of evolves as you become a veteran, whether you want it or not?
It kind of just happens. I was fortunate to have some really good mentors myself. Brad Osmus was a backup, and he helped me a lot. My first year was Sandy Alomar Jr., and he was tremendous as well. Some really good players and also some really good people. So, through the years I've been fortunate. Now it's kind of just, the cycle where it's my time to give back a little bit and hopefully help the game evolve and help players get better.
Yesterday, you and Barnesy were joking, kind of rock, paper, scissors as to who was going to catch Kershaw. You said the last time I caught him, he didn't even have that slider. What was that like being behind the dish again or in the bullpen session catching Kersh?
It's nice just to, I faced him a couple times and it's definitely more fun catching him than facing him. But he's evolved, through the years. He's the guy that's just continuously, he's trying to get better. He's looking for the edge, whatever that may be. Last time I caught him, he was fastball, curveball. Now he's got the slider. He's working on a changeup. He's just continuously learning, and he's never. I never feel like he's. He's always a student of the game. He's not becoming a teacher or a master. He's just always as hungry and he's just super curious, just like he was when he first got called up.
Almost equal time in both leagues, so you have an opportunity to have played in both the junior and senior circuit. Are you happy to be back in the National League game with that strategy?
It's definitely a different game. As far as just bunt defenses and the whole just strategizing the pitchers coming up, let's say fourth in the inning, and just thinking about different kind of stuff and matchups and stuff like that. In the American League, it's just go out and get them type thing, and there's just less matchups and stuff like that. Double switches, you don't really see that many of them. So it's going to be nice to get back to the more strategic part of the game. But I just find the best in both. They're both fun to play in, so we'll see how it goes.
And you're still playing. Welcome back.
Thank you.
First full day of pitchers and catchers as far as the workout is concerned. What do you have eyes on today? What's your agenda, particularly for day one?
Well, guys have been here a little bit, throwing some pens, so we got some other guys Kenley's throwing a pen, Richie's throwing a pen, some of our starters, some of the guys in the bullpen relievers. So just kind of seeing these guys and watching them execute pitches. Just seeing Russell Martin, Josh Tolley, some of the catchers that we just brought in to kind of see how they, the relationship with the pitchers, even Austin with Joe Kelly and things like that, some of the guys that we brought in.
Rich Hill said he started throwing bullpens a lot sooner in the offseason than he's had in the past. He started about December 22nd. Did you have conversations with guys over the course of the offseason about changing up their routine, and what were some of those talks?
Well, yeah, and Richie was probably the most extreme. And if you look back at his recent history in spring, he really doesn't have good springs. And coming out of the gate, typically for him, he's a slow starter. And so for him, at his own admission, wanted to get ahead of it and try to do something a little bit different. So, yeah, to be more aggressive in the winter, that's what he's done. And Clayton, over the last few years, has kind of curtailed and amended, changed some of his workout preparation. So outside of that, for the most part, guys are doing a lot of the same thing.
Walker Buehler said that he legitimately thinks he has to earn a spot in your starting rotation. Last year, he said he knew he didn't have a chance to start the season. Do you like that mentality of a guy that could legitimately be an ace to think that he still has to compete for a spot?
Absolutely, and I think that, Walker's a really great blend of confidence and humility and all that stuff, and obviously the skill set. So, and Clayton's a lot like that too, and obviously he's not going to go to that extreme, but I think that he's always trying to earn and knows that it's not given to him or going to be handed to him. So yeah, obviously Walker's one of our better pitchers, and for him to have that mentality is only going to make him better.
What did you think of Clayton with that very first bullpen yesterday?
I thought it was good. I thought it was good. Getting on the mound, throwing to Russell, I thought the pitch execution was pretty good. Ball came out of his hand well. Life in the zone. I thought, for a first pen, he came out of it really well. And so was he lights out? I don't think we expect him to be, but I think even talking to Clayton after, he was pretty excited.
Do you have like a pocket radar gun?
No. Right now, it's the eye test right now for me. So for me, just the execution, the way his body, the mechanics, he was synced up yesterday. So it was good. Yesterday was a really good day for Clayton.
How much of the first week is an eye test before you really start putting effort and consensus on mechanics and changing things and velocity and that type of thing?
Well, I think that it's player to player. And I think that as an industry, I think that we put a little bit too much emphasis on spring training as far as evaluation, and the track record of a lot of the guys that we have in our clubhouse speaks for itself. And so, this is a team that's expecting to play through October. So what we do in mid-February really doesn't hold a lot of weight in my eyes. So a lot of it is the eye test right now and conversations that we have and just how guys feel, and they know what it takes to get them ready, but Walker's a little bit different, for example. But a lot of it right now is the eye test.
A couple minutes earlier today, Dave told us that, a lot of this week is the eye test for him. What are you looking at as far as what you'd like to get out of just your pitchers and catchers being here?
I think a big part is just communication, familiarity, a lot of just getting to know each other. Obviously we have had, Grandal and Yaz the last couple of years, so now bringing Martin back, just him getting up to speed with our guys, and just the early returns have been unbelievable. Not surprising, but just how much he's already invested into our guys, the questions he's asking, and just all he wants to do is win, and you can see it in everything he does.
How comfortable are you with the pace and the progress that Corey Seager is making, tracking him to start opening day?
It's kind of exactly what we thought in terms of kind of a best case as we got to this point. And, each checkpoint is going to be so important. But at this point, I know he has done everything he possibly could to be back, and we'll continue the progression and see where that takes us.
How comfortable are you right now with the 25-man, and how active are you in bringing other folks in?
I feel really good about where we are. I really like, our kind of projected 25 man. I like the depth we have behind it. That being said, it's just not in our DNA to sit back and feel like, our roster's on lockdown. So we're always kind of having conversations and thinking about things. And, it's good on one hand to feel really good about where we are right now. And if we end up doing something, it'll obviously make us feel that much better.
Yesterday, Teresa had asked Dave Roberts why this team is better than the teams in the past. He had mentioned the bullpen depth. He'd also mentioned you're not as susceptible against left-handed pitching, more balanced offensively. How would you say you're better prepared going into this season than last year?
It's not as much a comparison for me. I feel like we have a chance to be an elite team. And I think we have a very well-rounded roster. It's also got a number of core players that have won a significant number of games together. And I think oftentimes that gets overlooked. But for the most part, the core of talent here, has demonstrated an ability to go out on a consistent basis, I guess minus the first 6 weeks of last year, to go out and win baseball games and to prepare for it on a daily basis and, prepare for the grind that is a season. And so you have that, and then, some kind of targeted additions with guys that we feel like fit in really well within the composition of our team. And so, a big thing, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago, the big theme for us is consistency, doing everything we can to have our talent come out on a nightly basis as frequently as we can get it to. And I think a big part of that is balance in a lineup and, having guys that, more bat to ball skills, other guys that can, hit better in situational aspects. And, it's just having a group of position players that kind of complement one another. And depending on who we're facing or what's going on, that we feel confident that we can score enough runs, with our pitching staff to win a lot of games.